Hello and welcome. You're not here by accident. Something brought you to this moment. A quiet hope, a silent need, maybe a feeling that something has to change. If you've ever felt tired of pretending, tired of pushing through the noise, tired of doubting your worth, then this episode is for you. Because today, we're not just learning English, but every kind word you say to yourself matters. Set boundaries. Without guilt, one of the hardest lessons to learn is this. You don't owe anyone access to your energy just because they want it. Saying yes to everyone doesn't make you nice. It makes you exhausted. Boundaries are not walls to shut people out. They are doors to protect your peace. Reklau explains that setting boundaries isn't selfish, it's necessary. And honestly, it was hard at first. Saying no felt like I was letting people down, like I was being rude or distant. But over time, I realized something powerful. People who love you will respect your boundaries. People who don't were only benefiting from your lack of them. So I stopped explaining. Stopped over-apologizing, started saying, no, thank you. I can't take that on right now. I need time for myself. And the more I honored my needs, the more peaceful my life became. You are allowed to put yourself first. For most of my life, I believed that putting myself first was selfish. I thought love meant giving, sacrificing, saying yes, even when I was tired, even when I was hurting. But that belief broke me, because here's the truth I learned the hard way. You cannot pour from an empty cup, and constantly giving while running. On empty isn't love, it's burnout. Marc Reklau reminded me that healthy self-esteem means honoring your needs, not just others. It means asking yourself, what do I need right now? What would truly support me in this moment? And listening to the answer, even if it means disappointing someone else. Loving yourself means taking responsibility for your energy, your time, and your mental peace. And no one else can do that for you. We're learning how to live better, how to speak gently to ourselves, how to rebuild from the inside out and with soft strength, with daily courage, with real love. So take a breath. Let the world slow down, and let this be the space where healing begins. There is one truth most people spend years running from, a truth that, when you finally stop and face it, changes everything. It's this: you are responsible for your life, not your past, not your parents, not your partner, not your boss, not the government, you. It's both a terrifying thought and a liberating one, because once you accept it, no one else holds the keys to your happiness. Not anymore. You hold them. This is where everything begins. And that's what this journey is about, reclaiming those keys, taking back your power. Not with a grand, perfect plan, but with small, honest steps. Because loving yourself isn't a destination. It's a decision you make over and over again, especially on the hard days. Love yourself first. By Marc Reklau didn't shout at me. It didn't make promises. It couldn't keep. It whispered reminders, gave simple steps. It made me feel like change was possible without becoming someone I'm not. So today, I want to share that journey with you. Not just what I read, but what I lived. Not just advice, but how it feels to apply it when the world feels heavy. If you've ever doubted yourself, if you've ever looked in the mirror and felt not enough, if you're tired of chasing approval, tired of hiding, tired of pleasing everyone but yourself, then this message is for you. You don't need to fix everything overnight. You just need to begin right here, right now, by choosing to love yourself first. You are enough, even when you don't feel like it. Let me tell you something that took me years to understand. Self-love is not a reward for being perfect. It's not something you earn once you've got your life together. It's something you give yourself even when everything feels like a mess. There were days when I thought I needed to achieve more, be more, do more, before I was worthy of kindness. But the truth, you're allowed to love yourself in the middle of the chaos, in the middle of the healing, in the middle of the learning. Self-love isn't a prize, it's a practice. Marc Reklau's book didn't tell me to become a new person. It reminded me to return to who I really am, beneath the doubt, beneath the guilt, beneath the noise. And that started with one thing: self-esteem, not the loud, arrogant kind, but the quiet belief that I matter, that my time matters, that my voice matters, that I don't need to beg anyone to see my worth. I just need to stop ignoring it myself. When you start choosing yourself, the day I began choosing myself, everything changed. I said no to things that drained me. I stopped apologizing for resting. I stopped comparing myself to others who were on a completely different path. I stopped needing likes, compliments, applause, and I started noticing the little things that made me feel alive again. Smiling at my reflection, just for a second. Saying, "I'm proud of you" out loud after a long day. Writing down one thing I liked about myself, even when it was hard. You don't need a miracle to start loving yourself. You need a mirror, a little truth, and the courage to be gentle with your own heart. The foundation is self-esteem, and it changes everything. Most people think self-esteem is just about confidence, but it's more than that. It's the lens through which you see yourself, your world, and your place in it. It's the quiet voice that speaks up when no one else is watching. When your self-esteem is low, you settle for less love, less respect, less joy. You stay in relationships that make you feel small. You avoid risks because you believe you'll fail. You tolerate mistreatment because deep down you think that's all you deserve. But when your self-esteem is healthy, you choose differently. You speak differently. You walk into rooms knowing you belong, even if no one claps. You don't beg to be chosen. You choose yourself. This was the first truth I faced when I opened the book, that everything in my life reflected how I felt about myself. And if I wanted my life to change, I had to change the way I saw me. When you stop waiting for approval, we spend so much time waiting for others to say, "You're good enough. You're smart enough. You're lovable." But what if I told you that the person you've been waiting for is you? Reklau's message hit me hard. The approval you chase from others won't fill the void inside you, because what you really want is your own permission to believe in yourself. I used to base my worth on compliments. One kind word, and I'd feel like I mattered. One harsh comment, and I'd crumble. That's not peace. That's dependence. So I made a decision to be proud of my own efforts, to praise myself quietly, like a parent cheering on a child learning, to walk, to validate my emotions without needing someone else to agree. It didn't happen overnight, but the day I stopped performing for other people's approval was the day I found space to truly breathe. You don't need to be perfect to be worthy. Let me ask you a question. Have you ever looked at your reflection and said, "If only I looked different. If only I were better. than I'd like myself. We've all done it, but here's what I learned. Self-love doesn't wait for you to be perfect. It meets you exactly where you are. Marc Reklau helped me see that imperfections are not the problem. Our relationship with those imperfections is, you can't grow while hating yourself. You can't improve while shaming yourself. It's like watering a plant while yelling at it to grow faster. What it really needs is light, patience, kindness, consistency. So I stopped hiding my flaws. I started saying, yes, this is part of me and I'm still enough. And the strange thing is, the more I accepted myself, the easier it became to change the things I wanted to improve, because I was no longer changing from a place of hate. I was growing from a place of love. Change starts with small, consistent habits. One of the most powerful lessons from the book is this: don't wait for motivation. Create a routine of self-respect. That means doing small things daily that build you up. Not big, dramatic changes, but little acts of self-trust. Writing a few affirmations. Looking yourself in the eye and saying, "I've got you." Pausing. Before saying yes to things that exhaust you, I used to believe change had to be loud. Now I know, quiet, consistent actions are what transform your life. You don't need to climb a mountain. You just need to take one honest step today. Talk to yourself like you talk to someone you love. Here's a truth that changed how I speak to myself. If you spoke to your friends the way you speak to yourself, would they still trust you? Most of us live with an inner critic that's louder than any bully we've ever met. You're not good enough. You always mess up. No one really likes you, and we believe it because it's familiar. But what if you could replace that voice? What if you could become your own encourager? Marc Reklau offers this simple practice. Every time you catch a negative thought, pause. Don't argue. Don't resist. Just gently. Choose a better one. Instead of, "I'm not enough," say, "I'm learning, I'm growing, I'm proud of myself for trying." This isn't toxic positivity. It's mental training. It's choosing to water the seeds of kindness in your mind. So, they grow stronger than the weeds of self-doubt. It takes time. The freedom of saying no. You don't have to justify your boundaries. You don't need a long explanation to say, "That doesn't work for me." One of the most healing things I've ever done is give myself permission to say no to toxic conversations, no to unnecessary guilt, no to staying up late when my body needs rest, no to chasing people who make me feel like I'm too much or not enough. Reklau calls this a mindset shift, a quiet rebellion. It's not loud or aggressive. It's calm, it's clear, it's grounded. Saying no isn't about pushing people away. It's about choosing your inner peace over pleasing everyone else. And the more I practiced it, the more I realized the people who love the real you will never leave because of a no. They'll stay because they respect you, because now you finally respect yourself. Celebrate progress, not perfection. Most of us grow up chasing perfection. We think we need to be flawless before we can feel proud. But perfection is a trap, and the more you chase it, the more exhausted and unworthy you feel. Marc Reklau shifts that belief entirely. He teaches that growth is what matters, not the finish line, but the step you took today and the next one, and the one after that. I started tracking the little things. I didn't skip my morning affirmation today. I spoke kindly to myself when I made a mistake. I made time to breathe, even in a busy moment. These might seem small, but small is powerful. Small is how mountains move. Reklau says, progress is the key to building self-esteem, and I believe that with my whole heart. Because when I stopped punishing myself for not being perfect, I started growing in ways I never imagined. The power of gratitude in self-love. Let me ask you something. When was the last time you felt deeply thankful for who you are? Not for what you have, not for what someone else gave you, but for the quiet strength you carry, for your heart, your mind, your growth, your journey. Gratitude isn't just about being thankful for outside blessings. It's about recognizing the value within yourself. Marc Reklau shares an exercise that changed me. Every morning, write down 3 things you're grateful for about yourself. At first, I struggled. I couldn't think of anything, but I stayed with it, and soon I started. Writing. I'm grateful for my ability to keep going even when I'm tired. I'm grateful for the way I care about others. I'm grateful for showing up even when I'm scared. And those words became anchors. They reminded me that I am not just surviving, I'm growing, I'm healing, and that is something worth honoring. Be gentle with yourself on hard days. There will be days when everything feels heavy. When your confidence is low, your energy is gone, and your old habits come knocking. Don't panic. Don't judge. Don't give up. Those are the days when you need love the most, from yourself. Self-love isn't just for sunny mornings and perfect plans. It's for the rainy days, the messy days, the days when you don't feel like enough. Marc Reklau helped me shift my mindset from I failed to I fell, and I'll rise again. From I'm broken to I'm learning. It's in the moments when you feel weakest that you must choose gentleness. Not because you're weak, but because you're human, and being human is enough. You don't need to be liked by everyone. Let me set you free with one truth. Not everyone will like you, and that's okay. You could be kind, generous, thoughtful, and still someone won't approve. But the goal of life is not to be liked. It's to live in alignment with who you truly are. Marc Reklau reminds us, the more you chase approval, the more you lose yourself. The more you try to fit in, the more you shrink. But when you show up as your real self, flaws and all, you attract the people who are meant for you. People who don't just like your mask, they love your truth. So let them misunderstand you. Let them disagree. Let them go. Because your peace is more important than their opinion. Every day is a chance to start again. This might be the most beautiful message Reklau shares. You don't have to wait for a new year, a Monday, or a big change. Every day, every moment is a fresh page. If you forgot your affirmations today, if you made a mistake, if you were hard on yourself, breathe. You can begin again. I've started over 1,000 times, and each time I became a little softer, a little stronger, a little more honest with myself. Self-love is not a destination. It's a practice, a rhythm, a relationship you build over time, with compassion, not pressure. You are not behind. You are not failing. You are becoming, and that is enough. Emotional freedom begins within you. There's a kind of freedom that can't be bought. It's not in your schedule, not in your finances, not in your relationships. It's the freedom to feel whole within yourself, to wake up and not feel like your happiness depends on anyone else's mood or attention or approval. Marc Reklau says something powerful. When you love yourself, you don't need others to complete you. You enjoy them. but you don't depend on them. For years, I didn't know how to do that. I depended on others to tell me I was okay. I needed reassurance to feel safe. I needed constant reminders that I mattered. But the more I depended on other people's words, the more unstable I felt. If they were happy, I felt enough. If they were distant, I crumbled. And then I realized this wasn't love. It was emotional survival. True self-love teaches you how to stand on your own, to say, I choose myself today, even when others don't show up, even when no one claps. That's not loneliness. That's freedom. Rebuilding trust with yourself. Here's a question no one asked me before this book. Do you trust yourself? Not your boss, not your friends, you. Do you trust your own voice? Do you keep your promises to yourself? Do you show up when you say you will? Reklau explains that rebuilding self-trust is like healing a broken relationship. Because many of us abandon ourselves every day. We say we'll rest, but we keep working. We say we won't tolerate disrespect, but we stay silent. We say we'll take care of ourselves, but we ignore the signs of burnout. And little by little, we stop believing ourselves. Self-love begins with truth. And truth says, I forgive myself for the times I didn't show up. But starting now, I'm learning to trust me again. It doesn't require a grand gesture, just a small step. Follow through on one promise today. Drink water when you said you would. Take that 5-minute walk you planned. Say no when you mean it. Every time you do that, your inner self whispers, thank you, I believe in you again. Let go of guilt. You are not a burden. Guilt is heavy. It lingers like a shadow even when you've done nothing wrong. Sometimes we feel guilty for saying no, for needing space, for resting, for having needs. But listen closely. You are not a burden for honoring your humanity. You are not selfish for choosing rest. You are not wrong for feeling tired. You are not bad for walking away from what hurts you. Reklau gently reminds us, guilt often shows up when we begin setting healthy boundaries, because we're not used to putting ourselves first. And that's okay. That's part of the process. You are allowed to protect your peace without apology. You are allowed to be kind to yourself even if others don't understand. You are allowed to love yourself deeply without guilt. Let go of the idea that you must earn your worth through suffering. You were always worthy, even when you forgot. You are worthy of love, even on your worst days. We all have days we're not proud of, moments we snap, words we regret, times we break down and feel like a mess. And those are the exact moments when self-love matters most. Marc Reklau writes, you are lovable even when you feel unlovable. At first, I didn't believe that. How can I be worthy of love when I fail? When I fall behind? When I lose control? But then I realized that's the whole point of unconditional love. It doesn't wait for your perfect version to appear. It sits with you in the dark. It says, I see you. I still choose you. That's the love you must learn to give yourself. Look at your reflection on your worst day and whisper, I don't need to be perfect to be loved. I need to be honest. I need to be kind to myself. I need to stay. You don't lose your worth when life gets messy. You don't lose your value when your confidence dips. You are still you, and you are still enough. Forgive your past. Set yourself free. You cannot love yourself fully while holding on to shame. And yet, so many of us carry it. Memories of what we said, what we didn't say, what we tolerated, what we let go of too late. We replay our mistakes, like a punishment loop. We carry guilt for who we were, even when we didn't know better. But here's what Reklau taught me. You can't grow while hating your younger self. That version of you did the best they could, with what they knew, with what they had, and with the wounds they carried. It's time to forgive them. Write a letter if you need to. Speak it out loud if it helps. But let them go. You are not that moment. You are not that mistake. You are the person who survived it, who learned from it, who is healing right now. Self-love says, I will not let shame define me. I release it. I release me. What you tolerate teaches others how to treat you. One of the most eye-opening lessons from this book is this. People don't treat you based on who you are. They treat you based on what you allow. When you allow disrespect, you're teaching others that you'll accept it. When you allow constant overstepping, you're teaching others that your time isn't protected. When you keep showing up for people who never show up for you, you're silently saying, this is okay, but it's not okay. And self-love is about choosing different, not with anger, not with revenge, but with clarity. Reklau challenges us to raise our standards, not for others, but for ourselves. Ask yourself, what am I tolerating that's hurting me? What would I do if I truly believed I deserve respect? Then act from that place. Because the way you treat yourself becomes the template for how others treat you too. You don't need to do it all to be enough in a world that glorifies being busy. We often tie our worth to how much we can accomplish. Wake up early, check all the boxes, do more, be more, achieve more, and if you stop, even for a moment, you feel guilty. But here's the truth. You don't need to prove your value with productivity. You don't need to earn rest. You don't need to earn love. You don't need to earn kindness. You are enough, even when you're still. Even when your to-do list isn't done. Even when all you did today was breathe. Marc Reklau reminds us to slow down, to pause, to reconnect with the deeper truth. You are already valuable, just as you are. So breathe. You're doing better than you think. Peace is an inside job. For a long time, I thought peace would come when everything outside me got better, when people stopped being difficult, when the bills were paid, when my body looked a certain way, when I had more time, more praise, more support. But peace never came. And then I read something in Reklau's book that stopped me cold. If you want peace, don't wait for life to be perfect. Learn to create peace in the middle of imperfection. That changed everything, because real peace is internal. It's waking up and choosing calm even when the world is rushing. It's pausing before reacting. It's forgiving others, not for them, but for your own freedom. It's being okay with silence, with slowness, with uncertainty. Reklau reminds us that peace is a habit. It's a decision you make in the little moments. You choose peace when you stop arguing with reality, when you let go of needing to be right, when you breathe instead of blame. Peace isn't something you find. It's something you practice, and when you do, you carry it with you, into every room, every relationship, every part of your life. Stop comparing. You're on your own path. It's so easy to look around and feel behind, to scroll through photos, and wonder why everyone else seems happier, richer, more loved, more confident. But here's what comparison never shows you. The full truth. You don't see the sleepless nights, the inner battles, the doubts behind the smiles. You don't see the quiet work that built their success, or the fear that still whispers behind their victories. Marc Reklau says, "The only person you should compare yourself to is the person you were yesterday." When I read that, I exhaled, because finally, someone gave me permission to stop racing everyone else. You are not behind. You are not less. You are not broken. You are simply on your path. And that path doesn't need to look like anyone else's. Instead of comparing your progress, measure your peace. Instead of comparing your timeline, honor your truth. Because your journey is valid, even when it doesn't look Instagram-worthy. You're doing life at your own pace, and that's more than enough. How to grow daily confidence. One choice at a time. Confidence isn't something you're born with. It's something you build, and you build it. One small, brave choice at a time. Marc Reklau offers a simple formula. Action, evidence, confidence. When you take action, even when you're scared, you create evidence. Evidence that you can do hard things. Evidence that you're growing. Evidence that your voice matters. And the more evidence you collect, the more confident you become. So start small. Speak up in a meeting. Wear the outfit you've been saving. Post that video. Say what you mean. Try something new, even if you feel unsure. Every time you do, you prove to yourself, I can trust me. Confidence isn't loud. It's not arrogance. It's quiet self-trust. It's the whisper that says, I've got this, even when no one else believes it yet. And that whisper, it gets stronger the more you honor it. Your joy matters. Bring it back. Sometimes we forget to laugh. We get so caught up in goals, responsibilities, and expectations that we forget joy is part of self-love too. Marc Reklau reminds us that joy is not a luxury, it's a necessity, because joy recharges your spirit. It brings light into the dark corners. It reminds you that life is meant to be lived, not just survived. Ask yourself, when was the last time you felt real joy, without guilt? Was it dancing in your room, singing in the car, walking barefoot in the grass, watching the sunrise, drawing, writing, cooking, laughing? Whatever it was, bring it back. Not because it's productive, but because it makes your soul feel alive. Joy doesn't have to be big. It just has to be real, and the more joy you allow, the more whole you become. Because loving yourself isn't just about discipline. It's also about delight. Protect your energy. You deserve it. Your time is precious. Your attention is powerful. Your energy is limited. So why do we give it away so freely? To drama, to overthinking, to people who drain us, to tasks that mean nothing. Marc Reklau teaches a radical truth. You teach the world how to treat your energy by how you treat it yourself. So protect it. Unfollow accounts that make you feel less. Distance yourself from conversations that leave you empty. Let go of obligations that don't align with your values. Create space for stillness. Protect your mornings. Guard your evenings. Make your peace non-negotiable. Because the more you honor your energy, the stronger your life becomes. Self-love says, my energy is sacred. I will no longer spend it on things that destroy my spirit. Replace self-judgment with self-compassion. You've judged yourself long enough. And where has it gotten you? Guilt, shame, burnout, silence. What if you tried something different? What if, just for today, you chose compassion? Reklau invites us to shift the question from, what's wrong with me, to, What does this version of me need? That simple change opens the door to healing. So next time you mess up, instead of saying, I always fail, try saying, I made a mistake. I'm still learning. I'm still lovable. Next time you feel tired, instead of saying, I'm lazy, say, I'm exhausted. I deserve rest. Compassion isn't weakness. It's the soil where growth begins, and once you plant it, you'll never want to go back to self-hate again. Your words shape your world. The way you speak becomes the way you live. If you constantly say, I'm not smart, I'll never get better, I'm always a mess, your brain listens, your body responds, your life adjusts to match those beliefs. Marc Reklau gives one of the most powerful tools. Change your words, change your world. Start saying, I'm learning. I'm growing stronger every day. I'm not where I want to be, but I'm proud of how far I've come. These words aren't lies. They're new truths you're planting, so new results can grow. Speak with love. Speak with power. Speak like someone who is rebuilding their life from the inside out. Love is a daily habit, not a moment. Most people think self-love is something you feel, but Marc Reklau taught me something better. Self-love isn't just a feeling, it's a habit. And like all habits, it's built over time, not in one breakthrough moment, not in a weekend retreat, but in small decisions repeated daily. You choose self-love when you wake up and stretch instead of scrolling. Drink water before the coffee. Speak to yourself with kindness in the mirror. Say no when you mean it. Say yes to what brings joy. Stop explaining your worth. Rest without guilt. Celebrate without waiting for permission. These are not grand, dramatic actions. They're small, they're ordinary, they're sacred, and done consistently, they change your life. The power of emotional mastery. Reklau dives deep into emotional responsibility, because it's not just about what happens to you, it's about how you respond. Most people spend their lives reacting, triggered by words, wounded by criticism, crushed by silence, thrown off by other people's moods. But emotional mastery means choosing not to be a prisoner of your feelings. It doesn't mean ignoring them. It means listening, without losing yourself. Your anger is valid, but it doesn't have to explode. Your sadness is real, but it doesn't have to drown you. Your fear is loud, but you don't have to obey it. Self-love says, I can feel everything and still choose peace. I can be triggered and still respond with grace. I can be hurt and still be kind. You become unshakable when you stop outsourcing your peace, and when you do that, nothing can control you again. Make yourself a priority, without apology. Too many of us live on leftovers. We give our time, energy, love, patience to everyone else. And then we wonder why we feel empty. Marc Reklau is clear about this. You must become your own priority. This isn't about selfishness. It's about survival. You are not here to live as an afterthought. You are not here to prove your worth through exhaustion. You are not here to keep everyone happy while you quietly disappear. You matter. And that means putting yourself on your calendar, taking yourself seriously, making time to heal, making space to dream, refusing to shrink. It might feel strange at first. It might trigger guilt. But the more you prioritize yourself, the more whole you become. And when you are whole, you give from overflow, not from depletion. Become your own safe place. There's a peace that comes when you stop running from yourself, when you no longer need noise to distract you, when you can sit with your own thoughts without judgment, when you stop needing someone to rescue you from your emotions. That's when you become your own home. Marc Reklau calls this emotional safety, and it's something you create for yourself. You do it by keeping promises to yourself, by speaking gently when you feel lost, by listening to your body, by allowing your tears, by honoring your intuition. When you build that kind of inner safety, you stop begging for it from the outside world, because now, no matter what happens, you have a refuge inside, a voice that says, "I've got you. I'm not leaving. We're going to be okay." That voice, it's your power. Stop waiting. Your life is now. You've waited long enough. Waited to be ready. Waited for permission. Waited for perfect timing. Waited for someone to believe in you. But the truth is, life doesn't wait. And you don't need more time. You need more courage. Marc Reklau says this clearly. Your life begins the moment you stop waiting and start showing up. So show up. Imperfect, uncertain, raw, but present. Take the leap. Speak the truth. Start the project. End the cycle. Write the book. Change the habit. Make the move. Love yourself now, not someday. This is your time. Every step counts, even the invisible ones. There will be days when your progress feels invisible, when you feel like you're moving backwards, when your effort seems pointless. But hear this, every step you take in love is never wasted. Every kind word to yourself matters. Every time you choose rest instead of burnout, it matters. Every time you walk away from what hurts you, it matters. Every time you forgive your past, it matters. Just because it's quiet doesn't mean it's not powerful. Just because no one else sees it doesn't mean it's not real. Your healing counts. Your boundaries count. Your growth counts. Keep going. You don't need to be anyone else. You need to be you. Comparison will try to convince you that someone else is doing it better, that you're late, that you're not enough, that you need to change to be loved. But that's a lie. Marc Reklau's final message is one I come back to again and again. You don't need to become someone else. You need to become more you, the real you, the kind one, the courageous one, the curious one, the one who laughs too loud and feels too deeply, the one who messes up but keeps learning, the one who dreams big and lives wide. You don't have to shrink. You don't have to be louder or quieter or thinner or smarter or more polished. You just have to be honest. Because the most powerful thing you can be is yourself. Final reflection. This is just the beginning. If you've come this far, I want you to take a breath with me. Inhale, exhale, and now hear this. You don't need to go back to the way things were. You don't need to carry guilt. You don't need to earn your worth. You are allowed to love yourself now, exactly as you are. This isn't the end of your journey. It's the beginning, because now you see the truth. You are not broken. You are becoming. You are not alone. You are powerful. You are not too late. You are right on time. This is your life, your heart, your story. Write it with love. Speak it with strength. Live it like it matters, because it does. You do, because that's exactly what you're doing. There is only one person responsible for your life, and that person is you. Now go live like you finally believe it. You don't have to figure everything out today. You don't have to be perfect. You just have to take one honest step toward yourself. That's enough. That's powerful. That's how the journey begins. Thank you for staying with me. If this message touched you, Don't keep it to yourself. Share it with someone who needs to hear it. And remember, you matter. Your voice matters. And every kind word you speak to yourself becomes part of your healing. Until next time, keep growing, keep breathing, and keep loving yourself a little more every day.